All right, so I wanted to do something kind of just completely random today. I'm doing a how many bananas can I eat? I decided to. All right, let's just get started. I got some ripe bananas here. I got like 10, 11. So let's see how many I can eat. I really wanted to stop making so many smoothies because they were kind of messing with my gut. Now I know if you get one of them vacuum blenders that it's a lot better for your digestion. But let's see how this goes. I do also have a little bit of sugar. I'm obviously not going to eat that whole thing. But I also wanted to answer some of your questions. I don't have them printed out. I got them right in front of me here on the screen. So I'm going to have to put the glasses on, which is going to look terrible because of the ring light. But here we are. Let's try this out. And if there's some really just boring parts, I'll just fast forward through them. All right, modeling. Somebody was coming after me at the fact that you can't digest vitamin A without having fat in your diet. There's fat in everything. I don't know what they're getting at. There's nothing that you can eat whole foods wise that doesn't at least have a little bit of fat. I mean, even bananas have fat in them. Rice has fat in it. Potatoes have fat. I mean, I don't understand where they're coming from on that one. I mean, potatoes actually have vitamin A and fat, so they can digest everything. They can digest everything as it is. So that one, I don't know. Watermelon is a favorite. Have you checked out the raw vegan bundle? Ends in a day or two. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea at all. I have been a fan for years of coconut almond yogurt. Oh my God. Mr. Corona is just amazing. Oh, she's talking about Puridyme. Or he or she is talking about Puridyme here. Yeah, you can make yogurt with their probiotics. It's proteolytic, which means it breaks everything down into its individual molecules. And then you just eat it, and it's a lot easier in the digestion. All right, and then somebody's coming after Durian Rider here. One of the Durian Rider videos that I made. The point is, he claims the diet is healthy, but his teeth rotted out of his head, which is absolute nonsense. He had crooked teeth. It was pretty cheap to get them replaced in Thailand, and he got them replaced. I mean, you can watch his videos. His teeth didn't rot out of his head. I've been eating this way. I have literally not been to the dentist since the year 2002. I mean, I have no idea why people. The only people that I know that have cavities are the ones that go to the dentist. I mean, maybe it's a ridiculous way to look at things, but whatever. All right, here's a good question. I am curious what you will eat a year from now. It looks like a big everything shortage is hitting us with no end in sight. We might have to shift to local produce and perhaps even gardening. We saw a little bit of that here during the year already, this year. I don't know how bad it's going to get. I do know that I have family members that are gardeners that have been approached by certain entities to be paid off to not grow this year. And I know that's happening quite prevalently across the country. So how hungry for money are people? So we might hit shortages. Is that going to be out of country where a lot of the tropical fruit comes from? I have no idea. Are we going to have shortages there? I have no idea. We did earlier this year, but that was because we got some like crazy ass blizzard that hit, and that affected things. I am going to buy another. I don't know if anybody saw that video, but I had my cat just decided that 100 and some odd pounds of rice that I had sitting up in the kitchen looked like good litter. So she peed all over it, and that was not a great day. So what are you going to do? All right, I'm going to slam some of these bananas. I'm just going to fast forward it. I want to keep the video just going so people don't think that I cut in and out and like was cheating. So I'm just going to eat a couple bananas, and I will be right back. All right, and we're back. A convenient, so that's 2 so far. Oh, and before I forget, I'm down below 270 finally. So I was 269.2 earlier today. This question or this comment, detox equals a convenient excuse to ignore issues with your diet. I just don't understand where people are coming from on this. Literally had black stuff coming out of me, black. And not this time, but the last time I actually had worms and parasites and stuff coming out. So if you have no idea what you're talking about, then you just have no idea what you're talking about. And that would be what your comment would look like. Now, people who haven't gone through it, obviously they don't, haven't gone through it. But I mean, still, it's not an excuse. I have no idea. Like, I don't understand some of the comments sometimes. I think I responded to this, but some of them I don't. It's just not worth the time. I noticed when I went high raw, my stomach was not appreciative at all. Adding in cooked starches and a little bit of fat really healed me in a week's time. All right, so if that's the case, chances are real good that you don't have the bacteria to break down that food. It had nothing to do with the fact that you were raw. I've played this Fiber Fueled twice. People who make these comments claim they read the book and then they don't. They have comments like this. It doesn't make, like he says in the book that you're going to have issues with digestion if you eat a ton of something that you haven't eaten in a while because you don't have what you need to break that stuff down. So that's just what happened. All right, here's one. I am completely not surprised you dropped 12 pounds in one day. Your body was all too happy to get rid of the inflammation and toxicity. Yeah, I mean, that happens to me quite often. I'll just completely drop all the weight in like a day or two, and then it'll be a couple days, and then it happens again. It just is what it is. I'm fine with it. I've been through this before. I wasn't really watching my weight at the time because I was in the 300s and most scales at least at that time, didn't weigh past 300 pounds. So I really didn't even have a way to weigh myself. All right, I'm going to get back to the bananas and I'm going to fast forward and I will be right back. All right, and I'm back. So that's 4 down. If I want to go on a juice fast, is it best with this just one kind of fruit, or can I mix? I would not just do one kind of fruit at all, but I would never do more than 5 ingredients in a juice. So something like a carrot, apple, lemon, ginger is really good. Carrot, orange, lemon is really good. The lemon ginger blast is really good. I know that's not 100% fruit, but it's cucumber, celery, apple, lemon, and ginger. That's the one I make. I know some people add a ton of stuff to that. So, I mean, there's many different juices you can make, but I would not just stick with one. Unless you wanted to just do like a carrot juice or something like that. But even then, I don't know. I don't think I would go to that far. Somebody says I still struggle to change my set point. I am a devoted McDougall follower, and my goodness, I find my weight stubborn. There's a couple things that could be going on there. You might want to get your blood tested to see if your thyroid is really off. If it is, then you're not going to be able to lose weight at all. If it is not, food combination might be an issue. Like I think I replied to this person with the exact same thing, but I know I cannot mix like potatoes and beans at all. Like I cannot mix them at all. Otherwise, it takes forever to digest, and I just get a ton of water retention. So you really have to watch this sort of thing. Pay attention to what you're eating and what it does and how it reacts and how your body reacts to it, because you might just be having a food combination thing, or you might be eating something that you can't digest. Maybe you can't actually handle nightshades, which is like potatoes, eggplant. I think most peppers are in that. Tomatoes, I think I already said that. There's a couple others. So really look into that. If that is the case, then you would have a hard time losing weight. Let's look for some more. Somebody said that Plentiful Kiki. I did a video on Plentiful Kiki a long time ago. Well, a couple of months ago, I'm going to say. And this person says, Plentiful Kiki is eating twice what I do. I don't understand why you think that is a little food. I don't understand. I know I say this quite often with some of these comments, but a toddler is supposed to eat between 14 and 18. If we're going to go to calories in, calories out, a toddler is supposed to eat 14 to 1,800 calories a day for that, that little tiny body that they're in. And Plentiful Kiki, when added up, it was around 1,500 calories for the day. So she's eating the amount that a toddler should eat. And then was wondering why her hair was falling out. I mean, you got to put 2 and 2 together here, and that is ridiculous. I don't know how anybody functions on that. I just don't know how somebody would function on that low of calories. I don't. And then somebody was commenting on these people don't know. I made a video on people who are ex-vegans. And the number one thing is these people don't know how the body works in the medical nutritional meaning. They don't know how the body produces its necessary nutrients or whatever. Yeah, so the number one reason that I can see from the videos of the ex-vegans that I've watched is they just straight don't eat enough. Like I watched a video a long time ago of this guy who was going to go on potatoes only for a week. The dude was eating like 400 calories a day worth of potatoes, and that's it. And then he was wondering why it doesn't work. And he did this video had like millions of views. And so it made everything look terrible. But in reality, he was eating 400 calories of potatoes a day and wondering why he couldn't lose any weight. Deductive reasoning. I have spent the last week watching Eli Martyr. He's the fruitarian that's been on Jillian's channel a couple times. He has, I don't know what they're saying. He had a lot of disease, bacteria, viruses. Very interesting. It may have changed the way I understand things. I don't 100% know what they're talking about, but you're trying to get. But when you eat raw, your body starts getting rid of all the stuff that's kind of hiding in the nooks and crannies of your body, and you do start to notice a lot of water retention coming off and fat retention coming off. And that, along with that, most of the diseases and the extra bacteria and the viruses and everything are stored in that fluid or whatever you want to call it. And that is when you, if it comes out too fast, then you can go into a detox, even though people say that detox doesn't exist. All right, I'm going to get back to the bananas. I will be right back. All right, and I'm back. So that's what, six down. Somebody said if you buy fresh, thin-skinned white potatoes from the farmer's market or cube or spiralize them, they're good on salad, sort of like jicama. They're talking about raw potatoes. I don't know if anybody's tried and actually made it this far in the video. If you've tried raw potatoes, let me know down in the comments. I haven't had them for years, and I really didn't like them that one time that I did have them. So I don't know. Somebody asked me why I juiced that watermelon. The watermelon, I don't know if anybody saw that little short that I did. And I think it was actually in a video too. The watermelon, it tasted good, but the fiber was just so thick on it. Like it was really hard to even bite on. So I'm like, you know what? I ate the first half of the watermelon, and then I just juiced the second half because I didn't want to throw it out. I never juice watermelon. I never blend watermelon. I just eat it. This time I'm like, you know what? This thing is just really hard to eat. So I did what I did. All right, let's find some more. I wish they were a little more in line here. I guess I could have done this a little better. This is just a spur of the moment video. Oh, somebody said my fiber fueled video was a sly dig at Nick Gets Fit. I have no idea why I would do. If I was going to say something about Nick Gets Fit, I would have said something about Nick Gets Fit. I was doing a video about fiber fueled and getting the information out there. This might be one of the more ridiculous comments I've ever gotten. I look like a meat eater, but sound like a vegan. If anybody actually knows what the hell that means, let me know down in the comment section before. Here's more of these people who say detoxing isn't real. If you've ever gone through a detox, let us know down in the comment section. Just, I'm interested to see who has actually gone through it. Yeah, the lack of fiber in the starch solution is kind of concerning because he basically tells you to find like 3 to 5 or 10 or whatever it is meals. I mean, the dude eats like from every time I see him, he's eating those burritos that they make. I mean, I know he's skinny and everything, but his skin is really, not great looking. And this is not a knock on him. I just think that he could stand to have more variety or at least add some avocado. I mean, at the point that he's at, I mean, he's so skinny looking. Why not just add some avocado into the burritos? At least do that. Somebody says, I hate watermelon. I don't understand. My dad's the same way. I don't understand how that happened. You look way happier on Raw. Keep going. Yeah, I have been a lot happier on Raw. I have been going through a lot of mental cleaning out. I don't really think that's a detox. I just think that is what's happening right now. It happened. Somebody said fruit flies adore vinegar. So I did have a fruit fly issue. One of the mangoes, I got a bunch of mangoes from the Asian market, and one of the mangoes had fruit flies kind of harvesting in there, and I usually can catch this stuff, especially with bananas. You'll know one of them will be completely black and it'll have this like almost mold looking stuff on it. That is where fruit flies are. Take that, put it in a bag, tie it up, throw it out, kill the whole colony. I know that's not vegan, but who wants to have 8,000 fruit flies in their house? Somebody also said that the sterilization of everything has destroyed the microbiome, and that's absolutely true. Like, I don't really overly sterilize things, and actually when I juice carrots and juice other different, fruits and vegetables, I don't clean them. I want that little bit of, whatever in there. And my vitamin B is always like 500 or over, and I don't take anything. But I am actually probably going to be getting a blood test, hopefully tomorrow, to test the thyroid out again. Somebody said the best part of raw vegan is no gas at all. I have to agree. Like, if you really food combine well, there's none of the gas that I was getting on the starch solution. That's not saying that the starch solution is bad. But and then here's our favorite. When you get diabetic, you will start gaining weight like no tomorrow. They keep claiming that a high carb, low fat causes diabetes, even though the fact that Walter Kempner cured diabetes like 97% of the time with white rice, sugar, fruit, and fruit juice. Kind of ridiculous. So I don't know. I mean, and I've done these videos several times, and this person watches every one of my videos, but it doesn't sink in. It just doesn't happen. Somebody said 8% body. I was 8% body fat at 225. Are you tall? I'm like maybe 6 foot. I used to be 6 foot, but since the surgery and my back all messed up, I'm like a little less than 6 foot, I think. So no, I'm not really tall, but I'm huge from my weightlifting days, and everybody thinks that the muscle just like falls off, but it just doesn't. Like it's there for life. I mean, look at Schwarzenegger. I don't even know if he works out anymore. Dude's still got, pretty much the same physique. Not quite, but it's pretty much the same physique he always did. And it's not like it just goes away, especially if you're eating. If you're not eating, then maybe it would. All right, I'm going to get back to the bananas. And I will be right back. All right, I'm back. What is that? 8. I'm actually getting fuller faster than I thought I would. Somebody said something about Costco has great organic dates and stuff. If you have a Costco near you, I wasn't actually on a big fan of it at first, but now that I've gone there a couple of times, I definitely notice savings. But their organic mangoes are really good, and some of the other produce is really good, like the oranges. So I would recommend going there if you've got one near you. If it's like way out, then I wouldn't bother. It's not that good. It's not good enough to like drive like 2 hours. But if you have one like maybe 20, 30 minutes, then go for it. All right. Somebody said, thank you so much for your videos. I have struggled with starch solution and nutritarian and raw for several years. Never seem to be able to stick with just one for a long time. All right. So there's more to this, but the main part of this is you've got to, if you pick one, you've got to stick with it. I know I've had the yo-yo effect on this channel. It was just trying different things out to try to help different people understand what things were. But if you're going to go on the, like, say you want to do rice diet, just do rice diet for like at least a month. At least give it a month, see what happens. If you're going to do raw to 4, again, a month. Starch solution, again, a month, if not longer, and just see how it reacts to you. I know McDougall likes to talk about all of his success with people losing, I think, an average of 7 pounds or something like that in the 10-day program. But what he doesn't talk about, unfortunately, that I've seen, is the people who don't do that, and it might take them some time. So you've really got to just realize that the body doesn't just instantly switch over and start doing things. Now, if you're having a lot of digestion issues in the beginning, really look at your food combining. Probably lower the amount of ingredients in what you're cooking. And then maybe at some point you can just add a lot more in. Somebody said, I fell off track and haven't been eating right lately and gained weight. Want to try at least raw till 4. Go for it. I mean, you just got to be consistent. The reason most people fall off is they don't eat enough. This is the worst part about the 50-50 plate, is you just don't eat enough. And then you start going for, in my case, the muffins and the hummus again. And before you know it, you've gained another 25 pounds. That's why I've just been diligent about eating enough on this whole raw thing. I mean, if you watch any raw channel, one of the most common things that they talk about is the fact that you got to eat enough. And you got to eat a lot. So if you don't feel like eating a lot, I would actually tell you to do the rice diet. I would tell you, if you don't feel like eating a ton, white rice, sugar, fruit, and fruit juice, it was probably the easiest to maintain. But if you wanted to add in potatoes to the rice diet, then whatever. It does have more fat in it, though. Potatoes definitely have more fat. And if you don't want all these restrictions, just keep it high carb, low fat. You don't have to have these restrictions. The reason I did the restrictions is because I was trying to figure out why the hell my gut implodes. But at the same token, I didn't give it enough time. A lot of these comments are, love this video, very informative. And it's great. I love it, but I have nothing to reply to. Here's this one that says, hey, food for thought. I think the more cardio you do, the hungrier you may become. Pull back on the training and stop pushing your adrenal glands. So the thing is that I haven't 100% noticed that. I never have, actually. Like, the more I exercise, honestly, the less hungry I am, which is kind of a pain in the ass, because then you keep building a deficit every day, and at some point then you're like, you have what I did last week, where I was in a complete lull. Like, I really was struggling to get anything done, and I don't want to do that. So you've got to be very diligent about this stuff. Like, if you're going to exercise, you've got to make sure that you're refueling. You got to make sure. That's why people have coaches, because the coach is like, look, you got to eat this amount. Otherwise, you're not going to, if your watts are going down, or if, I don't know how people track things in running, but if your running tracking is going down, or if your if you're a weightlifter and your ability to lift weight is actually decreasing, then you have not eaten enough. You cannot recover if you have not eaten enough. Somebody says, trust me, don't water fast. I had no intentions of doing it. I think that whole thing is nuts. It's got to screw your thyroid so bad. Because the people who do it just keep doing it because they get to a point and then they start gaining weight and they freak out and they start water fasting again. In the most cases, I mean, there are probably some circumstances like if you got some kind of severe whatever, maybe a water fast would help you. I don't know. That way it would give your body the chance to just not digest and actually heal. All right, I'm going to go back to eating these and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. That's 10. I might tap out. I don't know if that last one's going down. We'll see. Somebody asked me about having thin discs and if they would be saved by having a recumbent bike. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to make any medical claims. And like I told them, I think if your spine or your disc issues are in the lumbar, which is the lower region of your back, I don't know that would help. But if it was in the thoracic and cervical spine, then recumbent, depending on the style that you get, probably could help quite a bit. Why I say the lumbar wouldn't help too much. When you're sitting, your back is in a compromised position, so I don't know that would really help you too much on a bike. But I don't have those issues, and I actually haven't ridden a recumbent in a really, really long time, so I don't know 100%. But I do know a couple guys who have had neck injuries over the years, which is a cervical, and they love their recumbent bikes. They won't even ride regular bikes anymore. I guess it really just depends. Somebody said that to not have as much air bubbles in a smoothie, you just use the pulse function, which is something that I've had in my videos before. If you've got any kind of high speed blender and you can do a pulse function on it, or just put it on the high function and then just hit the on and off switch and it'll pulse it. It really doesn't bring that much air down and you don't get all the air bubbles. So that's a really good thing to do. I told somebody that if they're really having trouble, somebody made a comment. Somebody said it would be a good idea to do this, any of these diets under doctor supervision. If that's your thing, go for it. What I would suggest is, I know that McDougall has some doctors on his staff that you can call. If it were me, I would start there. Because going to regular doctors and talking about this stuff, which I've done in the past, it's just basically like talking to this, behind me, what should I be doing? And it's just deer in the headlights. They have no idea what to tell you. Somebody said those dates look great. This is a date. The dude literally just picks them and shoves them in a container and ships them off to you. This stuff is amazing. Here's another person. It seems like your attitude on Raw is improved too. I guess it is. Yeah. I don't know. I have been doing a lot of mental work, which has nothing to do with the diet. I just knew that I needed to let things go. I don't know if anybody's read the book Letting Go by David Hawkins, but it should be a must read. What else here? I think I'm going to tail it off here. This is like the longest video I've ever made. All right. So somebody asked, I think I'm going to close it out with this. Hey, where did you get the research that toxins are stored in water retention? I mean, this is kind of a well-known fact, but doctors don't talk about it. The information is not that hard to find. I actually found this out years ago at a thing called the library when I was reading some of the medical journals. And then some years later, I think I was talking to Arnold, and I know he talks about it. I think that Arnold Ehret talked about that. But the information is out there. It is somewhat obscure, but it's not terribly hard to find. Anyway, I don't think I can get down another one. So it's a little over 1,000 calories. The reason I was dipping it in sugar was just based on the fruit just does not have as much sweetness as it used to. Even I can remember, like, when I first got into this raw thing, bananas were like just sugar in a peel. And it's just not the case anymore. So, it's raw sugar. It's literally just cane sugar, just dehydrated and chunked up. So anyway, that is going to be the video. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of comments I could get back to, and at some point you got to call it a day. So this is going to be it. So a little over 1,000 calories. I'm probably going to go for a bike ride, and hopefully this video will be up today. If you liked it, give me a like, comment questions down below, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.